Steak lovers across America face a simple question every time they want to go out for dinner. Where should you spend your money for the perfect cut? Some restaurants have perfected the art of serving incredible beef, while others serve up disappointment on a plate. Today we're counting down 5 of the best and 5 of the worst steak restaurants in the country. Starting with number 5 on our best list, Hall's Chop House in Charleston, South Carolina, brings Southern hospitality to the steakhouse experience. The Hall family opened this place back in 2009, and they understood something important. Great steak needs more than just good beef. Walking into Hall's feels different from your typical stuffy steakhouse. Dark wood fills the dining room, white tablecloths cover every table, and live music plays throughout the evening. They even host a gospel brunch that's become legendary in Charleston. The vibe stays elegant without making you feel like you need to whisper. Their menu focuses on Allen Brothers ribeye and filet cuts, both prime-grade beef. The kitchen keeps the seasoning simple because they want the natural flavor of the meat to shine through. When your steak arrives, you'll notice the perfect char on the outside, while the inside stays tender and juicy. The staff knows their stuff too. Servers can guide you through the menu and suggest wine pairings without being pushy about it. Beyond steak, they offer seafood towers and fried green tomatoes that add a southern twist to the classic steakhouse formula. Customer reviews consistently rate Hall's at 4.8 out of 5 stars, with most people praising both the food quality and the exceptional service. The main complaint you'll hear involves pricing, which runs higher than average. For anyone visiting the South or living in the Charleston area, this spot delivers on ambiance and quality in equal measure. Moving to number 4, Barclay Prime sits in Philadelphia's Rittenhouse Square and completely reimagines what a steakhouse can be. Star Restaurants opened the doors in 2004 with a bold vision. Instead of the typical dark, masculine steakhouse design, they created something that looks more like a luxury library. Bookshelves line the walls, chandeliers hang from the ceiling, and plush seating makes you want to settle in for hours. The whole aesthetic leans modern and trendy while maintaining that upscale feel. The real action happens on the plate. Barclay Prime serves both USDA prime and Wagyu steaks. With their dry-aged ribeye and New York strip leading the menu, they've become famous for taking Philadelphia's beloved cheesesteak and elevating it to ridiculous levels. Their version costs $140 and includes Wagyu beef, foie gras, and truffle cheese whiz. It sounds over the top because it absolutely is, but that's exactly the point. The kitchen also offers caviar service, lobster risotto, and truffle mac and cheese as a side dish that could be a meal on its own. Their wine program runs deep with robust selections that complement the rich flavors of the beef. Customers rate Barclay Prime around 4.7 stars, with frequent mentions of innovative flavors and incredibly tender cuts. The service stays polished and professional throughout the meal. Some diners find the trendy atmosphere less appealing than traditional steakhouse vibes, but that modern approach is what sets this place apart. For East Coast residents looking for creativity mixed with top-tier steak, Barclay Prime delivers something special. Number 3 takes us to Tampa, Florida, where Bern's Steakhouse has been doing things differently since the 1950s. Bern Laxer started with a modest spot on Howard Avenue and transformed it into one of America's most unique dining destinations. The family still owns and operates the restaurant today, maintaining those high standards that built the reputation. Walking through Bern's feels like entering another era. Red velvet covers the walls in themed dining rooms, and the whole place radiates old-school opulence mixed with intimate charm. They even have a separate dessert room for after-dinner treats. What makes Bern's truly special starts in their aging room. Every steak comes from prime cuts that get dry-aged in-house for 5 to 8 weeks. This process concentrates the flavors and breaks down the meat fibers, resulting in that melt-in-your-mouth texture everyone wants. The menu includes Chateaubriand, Delmonico, and strip sirloin, all cut to order based on your preferences. Beyond beef, they offer oysters, escargot, and 22 different caviar varieties for guests who want to explore. The prices reflect the premium nature of everything on the menu, with costs varying based on the weight of your chosen cut. Here's where things get really impressive. Burns holds the world's largest restaurant wine collection with over 500,000 bottles and 6,500 different labels stored in a temperature-controlled cellar kept at exactly 50 degrees. This achievement earned them a James Beard Award for Outstanding Wine Program in 2016. After your meal, head to the Harry Waugh dessert room for macadamia nut ice cream sundaes or flambéed bananas. Foster-prepared tableside recent customer reviews average between 4.6 and 4.8 stars, with people consistently praising the aging process and expert service. The staff takes their time and never rushes you through the experience. Occasional complaints mention high costs or long wait times, but Southern diners seeking a celebratory meal with wine expertise find everything they need here. The combination of steak excellence and that massive wine program creates something you won't find anywhere else. Coming in at number 2, Gibson's Bar and Steakhouse represents Chicago's beef tradition. At its finest, Hugo Raleigh and Steve Lombardo founded Gibson's in 1989 with a clear vision. They wanted to create a classic American steakhouse that honored the Midwest's cattle farming heritage and the city's historic stockyard industry. The flagship location in the Gold Coast neighborhood quickly became a gathering spot for locals and tourists alike. Leather booths fill the space, celebrity photos cover the walls, and an outdoor patio provides prime people-watching during warm months. The whole vibe feels lively and clubby without being pretentious. Gibson's Prime Angus beef forms the foundation of their menu. They source USDA-certified prime cuts from upper Midwest producers who grain-feed their cattle for up to 120 days. After butchering, the beef gets wet-aged for at least 45 days to enhance tenderness and maximize juiciness. The bone-in ribeye stands out as a customer favorite, along with the filet mignon and Chicago cut strip. Each steak gets seasoned with their signature blend and cooked to your exact specifications. Fresh fish options like grilled salmon or lobster tail provide alternatives for non-beef eaters in your group. The wine list spans hundreds of bottles with a strong focus on California reds that pair beautifully with rich, fatty steaks. Sides range from loaded baked potatoes to fresh asparagus, and desserts like key lime pie finish the meal on a sweet note. For special occasions, Gibson's offers private dining rooms that can accommodate groups up to 400 people with customizable menus. They also sell gift cards and ship steak boxes directly to your home, letting you recreate the experience in your own kitchen. Reviews from the past couple years consistently highlight the steak's perfection. Customers mention juicy interiors with flavorful charred crusts and appreciate the generous portion sizes that deliver real value. Service earns praise for being both friendly and professional, though busy nights can get loud with all the energy in the room. Average ratings sit at 4.5 stars, and chef endorsements frequently mention Gibson's for its reliability. For Midwestern viewers, this restaurant embodies hearty, no-nonsense steak dining with just enough glamour to make it special. The number 1 spot on our best list goes to Keen's Steakhouse in New York City, a place that's been serving exceptional beef since 1885. Keen's started in the Herald Square Theater District as part of the Lambs Club, a social gathering spot where actors and notable figures would meet. Over the decades, everyone from Teddy Roosevelt to Babe Ruth has walked through these doors. The restaurant carries serious history, but they've adapted to modern tastes while keeping that old-world charm alive. Step inside and look up. You'll see over 90,000 clay pipes hanging from the ceiling, a throwback to the 19th century when regular patrons would leave their pipes for safekeeping between visits. Dark wood paneling, vintage artwork, and that unique pipe collection create an atmosphere you won't find anywhere else. The setting works perfectly for special occasions or business dinners where you want to make an impression. Keen's specializes in dry-aged USDA prime steaks with several standout options. The porterhouse for two gets frequent praise for its perfect balance of tenderloin and strip sections. The New York strip delivers everything you want in a classic cut. Then there's the legendary mutton chop, a 26-ounce saddle of lamb that eats more like a steak with its hearty, fat-skirted presentation. This dish alone has built a devoted following over the years. The menu extends beyond beef with fresh Dover sole, a crisp green salad that many consider one of the city's best, and seafood starters like shrimp cocktail sides, including creamed spinach and hash browns, round out the mains, while the bar program shines with classic cocktails. Their balsamic-infused Bloody Mary has become famous in its own right, and the Scotch selection runs incredibly deep for whiskey enthusiasts. During happy hour, they even serve house-brewed ale and offer tiered trays of hard-boiled eggs, adding a casual touch to the upscale environment. Customer feedback emphasizes the steak's tenderness and depth of flavor, with many reviewers noting perfect seasoning and char marks. Service stays attentive and knowledgeable despite the bustling environment that can feel crowded during peak times. Overall ratings hover around 4.5 to 4.7 on major review platforms, with consistent praise even given the high volume of daily visitors. Minor criticisms include occasional waits and premium pricing, but the historic appeal typically outweighs these concerns. For East Coast diners, Keen's represents the gold standard of traditional steakhouse dining, where heritage meets exceptional quality. Now we shift gears to the other end of the spectrum. At number 5 on our worst list sits Sirloin Stockade, a buffet-style chain that's been around since the 1960s. The all-you-can-eat format sounds appealing on paper. You get steaks alongside chicken, salads, and various sides for one price. The reality disappoints most customers. Steaks come out thin and tough, lacking the marbling and quality you'd expect even from a budget restaurant. The buffet setup means food sits under heat lamps, which doesn't help the texture or flavor. Customer ratings fall below 3.0 stars on most platforms. Reviews frequently compare the experience to a cafeteria rather than a real restaurant, with emphasis on how quantity clearly wins over quality in their business model. The widespread locations make it easy to encounter, but the consensus suggests avoiding this chain unless you have absolutely no other options. Number 4 brings us to Claim Jumper, a restaurant that started in 1977 with a gold rush theme. The menu tries to cover everything with steaks, pizzas, burgers, and more, filling the pages. This jack-of-all-trades approach means they master none of it. The chain claims to use USDA prime beef, but quality has declined noticeably since the company went through bankruptcy. Customers complain about tough, flavorless steaks that don't justify the price tag. The portions come out large, but size doesn't make up for poor preparation. Ratings average around 3.0 stars, with the most common gripe being overpriced meals relative to what you actually get on your plate. The steak lacks depth in flavor, and toughness remains a consistent problem across multiple locations. Limited availability means you might not encounter Claim Jumper often, which most reviewers suggest counts as a blessing. Moving to number 3, Logan's Roadhouse opened in 1991 with a roadhouse theme complete with peanuts scattered on tables and mesquite grilled steaks as the main attraction. They source Midwestern USDA choice beef, which sits one grade below prime. The menu offers ribeye and filet options at prices that seem reasonable until the food arrives. Customer feedback tells a troubling story. People frequently report rubbery textures that make the meat difficult to cut and chew. Sides often arrive cold, and the kitchen struggles with consistency across different visits. Ratings hover around 3.2 stars, with service issues adding to the food quality problems. The mesquite grilling should add flavor, but preparation mistakes result in steaks that taste bland or overcooked. Multiple reviews mention sending dishes back to the kitchen, which should never be a common occurrence at any restaurant charging steakhouse prices. Number 2 on our worst list goes to Outback Steakhouse, launched in Tampa back in 1988, with that Australian theme that became instantly recognizable. With over 675 locations across the country, you can find an Outback almost anywhere. The problem is, you probably shouldn't eat there if steak is what you're after. They use USDA choice beef, which gets aged and grilled with butter, but the execution falls short repeatedly. Menu options include sirloin and ribeye that pair with their famous bloomin' onion appetizer. The steaks themselves draw criticism for toughness and incorrect doneness levels. You might order medium rare and receive something closer to medium well, or vice versa. Customer ratings average 3.5 stars, and one poll found that 23% of respondents called Outback America's worst steakhouse chain. The beef grade itself isn't terrible, but when preparation fails this consistently, the grade doesn't matter much. For a chain with this many locations and years of experience, the quality control issues remain baffling. Taking the top spot for worst steakhouses, Sizzler has positioned itself as a family-friendly chain since 1958. About 70 locations still operate, mostly concentrated in certain regions. The California roots led to nationwide expansion focused on value meals and all-you-can-eat salad bars. Their steaks get hand-cut, which sounds promising until you see the limited options. Ribeye, New York strip, and tri-tip sirloin make up the choices, often combined with seafood or chicken in combo plates. The salad bar includes pasta and wings, creating a confusing mix of offerings that never quite gel. Customer polls consistently rank Sizzler near the bottom, with ratings between 3.0 and 3.5 stars. The main complaints focus on tough meat and surprisingly small portions for a restaurant that positions itself as a value option. Many reviews mention nostalgia for how Sizzler used to be, suggesting the quality has declined over the years. The steaks simply don't measure up to what you'd expect even from a budget steakhouse. People appreciate the affordable prices, but when the food quality suffers this much, saving a few dollars hardly seems worth it. The difference between these two groups comes down to a few key factors. The best steakhouses invest in premium beef sourcing, using USDA prime cuts with heavy marbling that ensures tenderness and flavor. They employ aging processes, whether dry or wet, that take weeks and enhance the natural taste of the meat. Cooking methods like high-temperature broiling or wood firing get executed by skilled kitchen staff who understand how to achieve perfect doneness. Wine programs, side dishes, and service quality elevate the entire experience beyond just eating a piece of beef. The worst performers cut corners on beef grades, opting for USDA choice with less marbling, or using preparation methods that result in dry, tough outcomes. Inconsistent cooking and poor quality control plague these chains despite their large footprints and years in business. America's steakhouse landscape offers incredible highs and disappointing lows. Whether you choose Keen's historic charm or avoid Sizzler's budget pitfalls, knowing where to spend your money makes all the difference. The next time you're craving steak, you'll know exactly where to go and which spots to skip entirely.